And hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes to Happy. If you can hear me and if you can see me, please say hi in the comments down below. Please let me know where you're watching from. I'm over here in Cebu. It's a kind of a gloomy day. Well, it's a sunny-ish gloomy day. Everything is doing well. Let me know how you are doing this morning. Hello, Alex from Metro Manila. Hope everything is good. All right. Yes, everything is good. All right. Or all right. Hello, Neil from San. Glad you can join us on this Thursday morning. Today, we're talking about dealing with anger, especially during arguments. And if you know other people who have anger issues, or baka ikaw you have anger issues, please share this with them as well. Please, you can tag them, diba? You can tag them. You can share this with them. Hello, Melanie. Good morning from UAE. Okay naman? Oo, kumusta? Okay naman. All right. For those of you that aren't familiar with 5 Minutes to Happy, what we do is we have 5 minute segments dealing specifically with certain topics, and these are topics that hopefully yung goal ko dito is these will make us happier, and we focus on three different areas in our lives: personal development. Second is meaningful relationships. Is third is finding fulfillment in work. And if we grow in those areas, what I'm teaching is that we will be live happier, healthier lives. I don't know if you agree with that. And hello, Narben from Zamboanga City. Glad you're here with us. So today's topic is dealing with anger, and especially during arguments. This was a requested topic when it comes to dealing with anger, yung mga anger issues, right? So let's go ahead and start off dealing with anger, especially during arguments. Now, I want to ask you, have you ever been in a very heated argument? Have you ever experienced that? Just say yes if you have, or you can say no if you haven't. The kind of argument na where you shout at one another, or you start breaking things, and you start getting violent maybe. Have you ever been in that kind of argument? Those that know me, if you know me personally, I'm a very patient guy. I'm a very patient person. But I did have this experience with a girl I was dating where we'd get into really big arguments. Really big arguments. In real life, normal day to day, you'd never hear me shout. But with this girl, we'd get into shouting matches, and I'd even start breaking things. Some people really know how to make us angry. Some people, they can really take us over the edge, diba, when it comes to our anger. But that's not our topic today. Yung mga triggers, that's not our topic today. Today we're focusing on those arguments, okay? When you get into those arguments and those heated and those very real arguments where we end up saying things that we regret. And in these arguments, we end up doing things that we regret as well. Have you ever been in those kind of arguments? Let me know. Just say yes or no. Have you ever been in those kind of arguments? Have you had those kinds of arguments with a partner, or maybe with other people, friends, or even enemies or coworkers? Have you ever had that experience before? So the question is, especially if we've had this experience now, how do we handle these kinds of arguments, right? Well, first of all, we should try and avoid these arguments as much as possible, right? We should we should try to avoid them as much as possible. We can usually tell if a discussion or argument is starting to become heated, right? You can feel it. You can feel it. It's getting there, right? You feel your blood starting to boil, and you start losing control of your emotions, right? And you see the same thing happening in the person you're dealing with, in the person you're having an argument with, right? You see the same effects, the blood starting to boil, the emotions boiling over. And these are the warning signs, right? These signs here, these are the warning signs. And once we start noticing these warning signs, this is the best time to stop the argument from escalating. Okay? Because at this point, our brains haven't been overtaken by our emotions yet, diba? And we can still make proper decisions. Once we get past this point, past this point though, there is no turning back. There's no turning back. Our ego, our emotions, it takes over. We lose control, and then we say things or we do things that we end up regretting afterwards. So it's really important. It's very important that once we notice that the warning signs are there, we should try to stop. We try to stop and turn things around. Okay, we try to stop the warning signs. When we feel like our heart beating faster, when we feel our anger starting to rise, when we start to lose control, when once those are there, the first thing we should do is try to slow down our heart rate. Okay, try to slow it down. I find that taking slow, deep breaths, it's the most helpful thing to do here. If it's possible, it would be best to take a timeout, timeout from the argument, and discuss things later, when both of you have cooled down, when both of you aren't angry anymore, when both of you have cooled down. Explain to the other person that you're not ignoring them. You have to explain to them, okay, I'm not ignoring you, I'm not pushing away, but I feel that I might say something I don't mean. Tell them that you might say something you don't mean, and that you need some time. You need some time to collect yourself. You need some time to gather your emotions, right? And why would you do this? Why would you take that time out? The reason is because you care for the other person. You care for the person you're in an argument with. And if the other person disagrees, na sige, we'll talk about this later. And that's great. That's really great. When you can take some time to do some, if you have that time, you can do some meditation, you can do deep breathing, and you can do some focus exercises. Or you can do some introspection. So when you do that, you try to analyze yourself, why you're angry, why you feel certain emotions, and rationalize, why you feel so bad in that scenario. Try to understand it. Once you feel more relaxed and that your emotions, they're under your control, that's when you can go back to the other party. And then you can discuss things without getting too heated, diba? Now, the question is then, what do you do if the other person doesn't let you take a timeout? If the other person says, no, I don't agree, we'll take some time out. And this is where it becomes difficult. This is where it becomes challenging. In most cases, what I try to do, diba, is keep taking deep breaths while in an argument and start talking more slowly, while trying to keep in mind, remembering that I care for the other party, right? Because these are things that can help lower your heart rate by taking deep breaths, start talking slowly, and just keep in mind that you care for the other party. And it may also help to remind whoever you're in an argument with that you care about them, so that their emotions may also de-escalate. They can also gather their emotions. However, there are rare cases where de-escalation is just not possible. No matter what you try, di talaga pwede, right? It's not possible at all. And the other party, or both of you really won't feel satisfied until you release your emotions, right? Until you have an outlet. And that's when things get dangerous, though, right? That's when things get scary. If this happens often with a partner, I'd find it valuable to sit down and talk with them, to sit down and talk to them afterward. Let them know that you care about them and that you want to come up with an action plan, with a solution to make sure you don't damage the relationship permanently, whether it's with your partner, whether it's a friend. You want to talk to them and say, I care about you. I want to make sure that this, we don't lose our relationship. But it's also worth noting, we also have to keep in mind that some people, they have very different communication styles, very different wavelengths. And because of that, you end up in a lot of arguments with these kinds of people, right? You end up fighting with them a lot. With these people, though, it's best not to get too close to them, so you can avoid any potential arguments, because you have different communication styles, you have different wavelengths, so you really can't communicate properly. You have to avoid these people, avoid getting into arguments. And sometimes it means you can't get too close to them, right? And that's the sad reality. Okay, there you have it. This is something that's very difficult to do in reality, right? In real life, it's something that's really hard to do. But I do recommend you try your best. Follow the tips I give. Maybe you have your own tips that you can add. Maybe you have your own comments that you can add. Let me know. And we have our commitment. This is the comment and our commitment. It's I will try my best to de-escalate arguments. Okay, so this is, type it in the comment section, and this is kind of your commitment. I will try my best to de-escalate arguments. All right. Also, reminder for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have episode 12. We're talking about why men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women. So this is going to be an interesting topic. This is tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning in the same Facebook Live channels over here or wherever you're listening to this. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Yeah, make this comment, this commitment. I will try my best to de-escalate arguments. Okay, let me go ahead and go to the comments section down here. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please let me know. I will go over to the comment section right now. Let's see. Hello, Narben. Hello, Ida. You need accountant. I don't understand your question. Raquel. Good morning from Rizal. Hello. Yes. Alex. Yes, I've been in a heated argument. One of my Waterloos ones over it, though I feel disappointed as it let the best of me down. But it happens, and sometimes we can't help it. But hopefully these tips can help. So sorry for myself and the other person with whom I had an argument with. Neil, yes, I had with my partner a big argument. But it happens. Good morning, says Alex. I'll try my best to de-escalate. Melanie, thank you. I'll try my best to escalate. Angeline, exactly. The thing is we need to improve our argument instead of shouting or screaming to be heard. Good morning, Angeline. But sometimes we must choose our battle, diba? Sometimes we have to walk away, right? Walk away, gather ourselves. But if there are issues in any kind of relationship, then usually we have to address them, diba? But rather than ignore them, we have to address them. But hopefully, you know what? Not when you're in such very, very strong emotions or very strong anger. Angela, I will try my best to de-escalate arguments. Nice. Let's see over here. Oh, what's happening on my screen? Okay. Narben, this is really something. Thanks for Jason. It's JD. It's helpful. I will try my best to de-escalate arguments. Sit down, talk about it, and settle it as soon as possible. Alex, yes, you're welcome, guys. And yes, if you found this helpful, once again, I'm doing this for free just to spread the word of hope and happiness to others. So it would really help if you share this with others, or if you tag other people, so that they can also learn about de-escalating arguments, or how not to get into these arguments in the first place, right? So once again, tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, why men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women. I hope I'll see you there as well. And I hope this was helpful for you, and you have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.